All of your mod builds probably now fall somewhere on the spectrum from slightly messed up to completely ruined. So with this video, I want to help you fix all of that so that your Guardian can be returned to their former glory and maybe even a little bit better. And if you are looking for specific mod setups for specific builds like Starfire Warlock, Omnioculus Hunter, and any other meta and even off-meta builds, and are a part of the 67% of people not yet subscribed, then please consider clicking that free button down below so that you can see those right when I post them. And if we gain 5,000 new subscribers from this video alone, I'll give away 5 GDS89 emblem codes to 5 randomly selected commenters down below. The first half of this video will go over all of the new general changes to the mod systems, like Artifice armor mod slots, combat style mods, armor charge, and so on and so forth. While the second half will go over the new mods themselves and disclose which mods are good, which mods are bad, which mods synergize well together, and a few little tricks to help you make the most out of your mod slots. And if you still have any questions at the end of the video, please drop them in a comment down below and I'll do my best to answer. First, beginning with the new general mod changes. The first slot in all armor pieces, the stat armor mod, is the same across the board as the previous system, with exception to an energy cost increase on resilience mods and an energy cost decrease to intellect mods. Sticking with the theme of stats, Artifice armor, obtainable from master level raids and dungeons, no longer has a bonus mod slot for equipping an additional seasonal artifact mod, since seasonal artifact mods are now passive bonuses rather than equipable mods. Instead, its bonus mod slot, the second slot in the armor piece, now allows you to equip any +3 stat bonus mod for absolutely zero cost, which is really going to help you max out those stat builds, considering that the stat rolls on master dungeon armor drops have been increased with the Lightfall patch. The next general thing we need to hit is combat style mods and the combat armor mod slot. Previously, you could equip a total of 5 combat style mods into any armor piece you wanted to, since each armor piece had 1 combat style mod slot, and combat style mods were simply elemental affinity specific. However, now with elemental affinities being removed and the combat style mod slot being converted into a 3rd armor piece specific mod slot, what were previously combat style mods have now been converted into armor piece specific mods. So for example, Font of Wisdom, which could previously be applied to the combat style mod slot on any armor piece, is now a helmet specific mod. Now this might seem bad for build diversity since these combat style-esque mods are now locked into certain armor pieces, and it certainly hurts a few builds, but considering that we now have effectively 3 slots for combat style-esque mods on every armor piece as opposed to the previous one, there now comes the possibility for significantly more potent and stacked versions of previous mod builds. You'll see what I mean by that when I start showcasing mod builds for specific classes and subclasses in future videos. Moving on to the new armor charge system, these mods are going to be the colored ones, with each color having a different theme. The yellow and blue mods both allow you to gain a stack of armor charge by picking up an orb of power when equipped, and will also enable you to pick up orbs even with a fully charged super. Where these mods differ, however, is in their granted benefits and activation criterias. The yellow armor charge mods are what I like to call active mods, where by doing a specific action, you receive a specific one-time benefit in exchange for armor charge stacks. Some mods will consume all current armor charge stacks, with the potency of the benefit increasing based on the number of stacks, while other mods will only consume a certain amount of stacks. If a mod requires multiple stacks for its activation, but you have a number of stacks less than the required one when the activation criteria is met, you will maintain your stacks and the mod will not proc. So as an example of the first category, Utility Kickstart activates when using your class ability, trading all current armor charge stacks for class ability energy, with more stacks granting more energy. As an example for the second, Healthy Finisher activates on finishers, only consuming 1 stack of armor charge in exchange for a full heal, regardless of how many total stacks you currently have. And as an example for the third, Emergency Reinforcement on the chest activates when your shields are broken, trading 3 stacks of armor charge in exchange for increased damage resistance. If, however, you have this mod equipped, have your shields broken, and are only in possession of 1 or 2 stacks of armor charge at the time, you will keep your armor charge stacks and Emergency Reinforcement will not activate. activate. The blue mods, which again allow you to gain stacks of armor charge by picking up an orb of power, are the passive armor charge mods. When having at least one of these mods equipped, you will automatically lose a stack of armor charge every 10 seconds. This is because these mods all grant passive benefits, like increased damage for a certain weapon damage type, or an increase to a specific stat while in possession of a stack of armor charge. The bonuses of these benefits are increased with additional copies of the mod equipped, however, are unaffected by the number of armor charge stacks you currently have. For example, having one copy of Arc Weapon Surge and currently having one stack of armor charge will give you the same 10% Arc Weapon damage buff that you would receive if you had 3 stacks of armor charge. However, throwing on another copy of the Arc Weapon Surge mod would bring that damage buff from 10 to 17% anytime you are armor charged, while throwing on a third would bring it from 17% to 22%. The best way to think about this is for yellow mods, more stacks equals more potent benefits, while for blue mods, more stacks equals more time with your benefits. The green mods are simply modifications to the armor charge system, or alternate ways to obtain stacks of armor charge other than Orb of Power pickup. For the final general item, mods that used to be weapon archetype specific, like Shotgun Reloader, Rocket Scavenger, Grenade Launcher Reserves, and so on, are now damage type specific, being things like Void Holster, Kinetic Dexterity, and Strand Targeting. This applies to Siphon and Targeting mods on the helmet, Reloader and Dexterity mods on the gloves, Unflinching and Reserves mods on the chest, and Holster and Scavenger mods on the boots. All of these mods also have harmonic versions as well, which grant the same benefit for the damage type of your currently equipped subclass for a reduced mod energy cost. Moving on to the mods themselves, the helmet is now home to all Finders, Scouts, Siphons, Targetings, and bonus super regeneration mods. The helmet is also home to Radiant Light to grant nearby allies a stack of armor charge on super activation, Powerful Friends to grant nearby allies a stack of armor charge when you pick up an Orb of Power, and Font of Wisdom for an intellect increase while armor charged. Scout mods are a new and notable mod that grants allies a brick of ammo whenever you generate a brick of ammo thanks to a Finder mod. Essentially, these are a passive form of the Aeon's exotic gauntlets, and we will talk about why they are incredibly strong in team environments in just a little bit. Next up is the gloves, which houses all mods pertaining to grenade and melee regeneration, grenade enhancements, loaders, and dexterities. Firepower and Heavy-Handed, previously combat-style mods, have been converted to regular gloves mods that now generate Orbs of Power on Grenade and Charged Melee Final Blows, respectively. You've also got Grenade and Melee Kickstart, which will consume all stacks of armor charge on Grenade or Charged Melee activation in exchange for a refund of a portion of that ability's energy, depending on how many stacks are consumed. It's important to note as well that even if you have 0 stacks of armor charge when using these abilities with these mods equipped, you will still refund a portion of that ability. On the gloves, we also have the Fonts of Focus and Vigor, which grant passive increases to your discipline and strength respectively when armor charged, and Shield Break Charge, which grants a stack of armor charge when breaking a shield with damage that matches the shield type. After that is our chest, which is home to Resists, Reserves, and Unflinchings. You've also got a yellow armor charge mod in Emergency Reinforcement, which we talked about previously, a blue armor charge mod and Font of Endurance for a passive resilience increase when armor charged, and a green armor charge mod in Charged Up to increase your max capacity of armor charge stacks from 3, with each copy of this mod giving an increase of 1 for a total of up to 6 if you have 3 of this mod equipped. On the boots, you've got all of your mods that will grant benefits when picking up Orbs of Power, Surge mods for specific weapon type damage increases when armor charged, holsters, scavengers, and Font of Agility for a mobility buff while armor charged. Finally, on your class item, you've got mods that reduce ability cooldowns when using your class ability, armor charge finisher mods, Font of Restoration for a passive recovery boost when armor charged, and utility kickstart, which functions the same as grenade and melee kickstart on the gloves. You've also got mods like time dilation to increase the duration of your armor charge stacks from 10 to 15 seconds, only relevant when you are running blue armor charge mods, and empowered finish to grant a stack of armor charge on finishers when you have 0 stacks. Finally, you have Reaper, which generates an orb of power when landing a weapon final blow after activating your class ability, which is basically an element agnostic version of Reaping Wellmaker. So what should you use and not use? Starting off, the blue passive stat bonus armor charge mods are practically useless as far as I can tell. I don't know exactly how much they buff your stats, but in my testing, the differences in ability regeneration from the strength, discipline, and intellect-based ones were not even noticeable, even with 3 copies of the mod equipped. On the other hand, the blue surge armor charge mods that grant increased weapon damage are very noticeable, granting 10, 17, and 22% buffs to weapon damage for 1, 2, and 3 copies of the mod, respectively. Couple these mods with time dilation on the class item to increase the duration of your armor charge stacks from 10 to 15 seconds, and you've got a basically infinite weapon damage buff so long as you can continue making orbs, which is very easy if you are running helmet siphon mods and things like firepower, heavy-handed, and Reaper for orb generation on ability kills. What's more is that the weapon damage buff from these mods also stacks with buffs like Radiant, Weapons of Light, and Well of Radiance, making them good for even raid boss DPS phases as well. If you are running these mods, however, you will want to try to avoid using any yellow armor charge mods, especially the kickstarts, as you'll essentially be torn into 2 pieces between your weapon damage buff and ability activations, since activating an ability with a kickstart mod equipped will automatically rip away all of your armor charge stacks and therefore your surge weapon damage buff. If you're running a build that focuses more on ability usage, however, like Omnioculus Void Hunter for example, then opting into these yellow armor charge mods like the kickstarts can actually be a lot better. In either circumstance, the game has you generating a lot more orbs of power than before, making the general orb pickup benefit mods on the boots incredibly strong. Looking at our helmet, the new scout mods provide a new buildcraft pattern when playing with teammates in organized activities. If you wanted to be selfish, you could run both special and heavy ammo finder for 3 cost apiece, and after you account for another 3 energy for your major stat mod, you only have 1 energy left for your 3rd slot. But if you have teammates, you can actually get the same benefits of having both of these finder mods equipped for the cost of only 4 energy instead of 6, by swapping out one of your finders for the scout mod matching the finder that you kept. You would then have your teammate run the opposite set of ammo type mods. This works because the scout mods are basically finders for your allies in disguise. So if you have a raid team with 3 players running heavy finder and scout, with the other 3 running special finder and scout, you effectively have all 6 players with both finder mods equipped, since a scout mod simply equals a finder mod for everyone else. And since a finder and scout mod together only cost 4 energy as opposed to 6 energy for running both finders yourself, this opens the door for you to have 3 energy remaining after you factor in your major stat mod as opposed to 1, making room for a siphon or super energy generation mod. Now, I'm sure there is a ton more to dive into with this new mod system, and I'll be sure to continue to expand and extrapolate on it all in future videos as I test and discover specific mod setups for specific builds, which, again, please consider subscribing if you want to see those. But for now, this is everything I have discovered and all of the information that I can give. Hopefully it's enough for you to have some degree of direction for mod build crafting in the interim while I conjure up specifics for your favorite subclass. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.